Good afternoon, one and all. This is a video which is intended for people who may find themselves in the same position I was a few months ago, where you start thinking about changing your fuel filter or doing your tappets or whatever, and you think, oh no, I've got to take the fuel tank off. I must confess I was a little bit frightened of taking the fuel tank off, and I know that other people are too, some of them, because I've had emails about it saying, you know, I'm really frightened of taking my tank off because of all the wires and the fuel pipes under there, which is exactly how I thought. And if you want to change your fuel filter, the tank has got to come off. And I know that I was thinking along those lines after doing 7,500, 8,000 miles on the bike, thinking, well, I might change the fuel filter, but oh, I daren't. So fear not, oh intrepid viewers, because it is actually a piece of cake. And that is thanks to Len Hartley, who said that to me on the phone. He said, it's not difficult, just do it. So the first thing you do is remove the two bolts at the back, in my case stainless Allen bolts, and then you prop the rear of the tank up. I've used a 3.5-inch wide wooden slat from a pallet. Now, contrary to what it says on the internet, you know, fuel injected systems are not pressurised when they're not running. Well, certainly this one isn't. You know, I read about you've got to depressurise the system and you've got to run your tank dry, and, you know, like these forums do, where people come up with disinformation, possibly with the best of intentions, that's incorrect. It certainly isn't the case of this bike. So there is no pressurised system. There is no difficulty in doing it at all. So you prop the rear end of the tank up like that. There's plenty of room, plenty of play on the cables, the fuel pipe, and so on. There are not several fuel pipes, there's only one. The two pipes at the back end of the tank, which go onto little metal stubs, are just breathers that would have gone to the evap system on my bike till I binned it. And you just pull them off. They're not held on with anything. You just literally pull them off the stubs. And here's one sitting at the side of the tank there, with the tank propped up by the wood. And if you look in the middle there, you'll see that there is the block terminal for the fuel pump. It's a fairly substantial black plastic block that goes into the white socket, the actual pump itself. And this next shot shows a better view of the actual connector. So there it is. So that's it. You've just got the fuel pump, the fuel sender unit, which is a little green plug that's easy, just a 2-pin plug, and you've got two breathers and a fuel pipe. So in order to undo this fuel pump block, it's got a very nice little plastic lug on it that sticks up the side, and it's even got a bit to put your finger on the end, as I'll show in a minute. So you just basically pull that clip outwards, and then you pull the black block out. Obviously you don't pull it by the wires, you pull it by the actual block itself, because they're very thin, the wires on the Royal Enfield, aren't they? All of them are. Compared to Japanese bikes that I've known, or indeed British bikes. So be careful with it. It would be possible if you pull the wires, I think, to damage it. So you just pull that block terminal out, and this next shot shows my grubby little finger and my damaged thumb. I'll not go into that. Operating the little spring lever, as you can see there. So there it is. You just pull that lever outwards. It's attached to the black block terminal. So pull it out, and then with your other hand you just pull downwards. Make sure your wedge at the back of the tank isn't likely to suddenly drop or whatever, you know, make sure it's secure, but it will be. And like I say, it's not stretching anything. So it's a piece of cake. You just pull that lever and pull the connector out. It's got a rubber gasket thing round it to keep water out. And this next shot shows the actual block out of the fuel pump. So at this point you've got your breathers disconnected and dangling happily, then you've got your fuel pump disconnected, and you can see on the right is the red connector that would have gone to that's just gone for the fuel pump. On the left you'll see a square in a bit of plastic thing. Now that the damage on that is me being an idiot. I thought I'd have to poke that with something. You don't. I was poking it with a little progler. It's only thin. It hasn't damaged it to stop it working. And the fuel pipe has just got 2 of those on, so you've got one square there, and on the other side of that component you've got another square. You don't need special pliers, you don't really need anything apart from a finger and a thumb. You just press them together really hard, and you have to pull the pipe off. It feels like it's not going to move, but it is. It's got a rubber O-ring in it. You don't need special pliers, as somebody asked me about the other day. You just basically press it really hard together with the tips of your fingers, and pull it up, and it just comes off. There, you'll see the pipe there. You will find that some fuel, about probably a dessert spoonful of fuel will come out your tank, and that's it. So press really hard on them. You don't need pliers. I would say don't use a tool on it, as I tried to in my ignorance. You just basically squeeze them together and you pull upwards, and you'll see the flange on that black pipe there. That's as far as the connector goes down to. So you have to pull it up about probably 15 mil to get it off. This next shot shows the green sender wire. So that's just a simple 2-pin connector, and that's it. You just lift the tank back and pull it off the U-shaped lugs on the frame, and it literally comes off. Have a safe place to put it, somewhere where you're not going to tread on it or drop a spanner on it, and that's it. It really is simple. I've now done it 4 times. There it is with the bike, with it off the bike. You'll see you've got your 2 breathers sticking up there. You've got your green terminal, and you'll see just near the right hand side breather there, you'll see a yellow band. That's the waterproof bit of the fuel pump block connector, and that's it. Piece of cake. It couldn't be simpler. It can be done in 5 minutes. Just remember, of course, that you don't want a full tank. If you're going to do anything like that, I would make sure that the fuel tank has run down a fair bit, and when you take it off as well, fuel tends, if it's got quite a lot of fuel in it, it'll slosh to one side and it'll go off balance, and you don't want to be dropping your fuel tank. And like I say, having a safe place to put it out the way, cover it with a blanket or something. And there it is. So for those people out there who might be as worried as I was about taking the tank off, it really is simple. No special tools, nothing. You need a finger, a thumb, what else? Oh, and an Allen key. Simple as that. So fear not, it can be done. I'd appreciate any comments if you think I'm wrong, or if you think there's a better way of doing it, but literally I did it in 5 minutes today, and it's the 4th time I've done it. So worry not, it is not difficult. In the meantime, I hope you're all careful on your bikes. Have a great day, and I'll post again soon with an update about my exhaust system. Oh yes. Bye for now.